Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today kind of springs off of the song. I guess we've all heard it. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Well, the topic is it's beginning to look, I can't even say it. It's beginning to look a lot like arrests. And yes, I'm happy about it. So let's get on with it. It's beginning to look a lot like arrest. Look, you can look up the news. You don't watch Prophecy Club to find out the news. You find out what the prophecy behind the news means. Okay, first of all, as you can see behind me, we're really pushing Prophecy Club crypto. And I apologize. My plan is to get some XRP. I want to get some crypto. We haven't had the money. One of the folks out there sent $1,000, and I'm going to turn around and get $1,000 of the crypto as soon as I possibly can. But I would suggest strongly that you go to prophecyclubcrypto.com. It looks just like that, and you fill out your name and all that sort of stuff. And I called, okay, and they quickly called me back. And of course, then since I said Stan Johnson, oh, wait a minute, you're famous. I said, well, I don't know about that, but no. Anyway, they love Prophecy Club. They love Prophecy Club. They love you folks because when you call, you know what's going on. You got your eyes open, your ears on. As a matter of fact, many of you know more about what's going on than the people at prophecyclubcrypto.com. Anyway, so I believe that crypto is going to be the thing that bridges between the death of the dollar and the rise of the digital currency. And in my opinion, I think that is in progress right now. Now, how long it takes, I don't know. But I think that we are seeing the death of the dollar, the rise of the new digital currency. And yes, I plan to get this $1,000 with crypto. I think that's a good thing to have to bridge us over. Okay, so let's get on to. So again, our topic is it's beginning to look a lot like arrests. Article says after D.C., Trump floats federal control in 5 other cities. Okay, I don't think he's gone into Washington, D.C. because of the crime. I think it's a good excuse to get people there to facilitate a bunch of arrests. Now, my understanding is right now they are on recess, but that recess is going to end, and when it ends, my guess is that they're there cleaning up, how do I say this? They're cleaning house now so that when the senators and congressmen come back, they won't have anything slowing them down to do all of the rests. And I don't think it's just going to just 5 other cities, but they're going to start there, just like they're starting with the most evil of the illegal immigrants. They're going to start with the most evil and the highest people in the highest positions. And that is going to cause a lot of problems. Matter of fact, I think it'll start the internal revolution. So that's what I think about that. I think that they're really preparing the massive arrests. The article says 5 other cities could face similar effort. No, it's going to be more than 5. This is going to be all of them. Trump said the attempt to address crime and homelessness would go further than D.C. Yep, Baltimore, Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, Oakland, and a lot more. The next article says the Pentagon plan would be to create military reaction force for civil unrest. Do you not see it? Surely you see it. Okay. Surely you see that this military reaction force that they're in progress of creating is not to arrest normal civilians. It's certainly not to arrest the immigrants, the illegal immigrants. All of this is preparation because a bunch of people in high places are about to be arrested. It says the Trump administration is evaluating plans to create units composed of hundreds, catch that, hundreds of National Guard troops tasked with rapidly deploying into U.S. cities facing protests and arrests. Now, My understanding is it's not going to be the National Guard that is arresting people. It's going to be the military, the Marines, and other such. Okay? Okay, so then why are they putting the national? Because there's going to be a lot of protest. There is going to be a lot of unrest. The Domestic Civil Disturbance Quick Reaction Force plans to call 600 troops. See, that's the people that'll be doing the arresting. 600 troops split into two groups of 300 to be on standby at all times so that they can deploy in as little as 1 hour. I think that he will wait until Congress is back in session, then pull the trigger. That's just a guess. I don't really know. The troops would be stationed at military bases. In other words, just around the corner so they can get there real quick. The Domestic Civil Disturbance Quick Reaction Force proposal would entail moving troops from one state to another. That's right. It's not going to be about just one state. It's going to be about all 50 states. And then the prophecies say, and then they go to other countries and do likewise. Whistleblower. Further confirmation. Schiff okayed an info leak to discredit Pump. Oh, Trump, surely not. You know, a guy like Schiff do something wrong? Surely not. It's not just Schiff. It's a lot of people in high places about to be arrested. Bassett is eyeing 3 people for the next Fed chair. Okay, I don't think that there's going to be a Federal Reserve or an IRS. I mean, that's the reason Trump has laid off, what is it, like 2/3 of the people working at the IRS? Okay, so it says 3 people they've named for the next Fed chair. My guess is that the Federal Reserve that prints our money and then lends it back to us in interest is going to be gone. It won't be there. No IRS and a bunch of other big changes. But again, what do I know? Okay, I just know what the prophecies say. Trump cites major lawsuit against Fed Powell again and urges a rate cut. Okay, he only wants the rate cut because it's going to take a little while to move from dollar to digital. But when they get on digital, it's bye-bye to Federal Reserve, my opinion. U.S. President Donald Trump Tuesday reiterated his call for U.S. Federal Reserve to lower benchmark rates. And in managing the construction of the federal buildings, some $3 billion when he said they should have just spent $50 million. So consequently, he's suing Powell and probably the Federal Reserve too. But again, that's not where it's going. It's going to no Federal Reserve, no dollar. Now, I want to show you something. I've talked about this several times. This is, you want to go to this. Type in your browser, bad-boys.us. It's not complicated. Go there. Now, I took this out several months ago, and that's when there was 484,461 sealed indictments. Then I did another one a few months later. It's 499,345. Did another one a little. Matter of fact, I think I did this like a week ago. And it was 506,587. But this is what I just found today. This is just today. 513,867. Let me back up. Look at those numbers. 484, 499, 506, 513. What's that tell you? And if you'll go there, and if you'll click on any one of those tabs, spend 30 minutes looking at that site, you will say, oh my goodness, this is real. They really do have a bunch of people ready to be rounded up. Nobody would go to this much trouble if this was bogus. It's not bogus, my brothers and sisters. 513,000 people. And here's the kicker. Each arrest warrant, or these sealed indictments, always stands for at least one person. In other words, one indictment, one person. But it's my understanding that sometimes one indictment can be lots of people. But it's at least 513,000 people. Why you think that they're looking at this opening new alligator Alcatraz? They're looking at opening the old original Alcatraz. They're also building all of these other, what's it called? The race car What was the one up in Illinois? They're building places to store a bunch of people they're about to arrest. It's not for illegal aliens. Yes, they have Gitmo. Yes, they have Diego Garcia. And there's another one out there too, Guam. But 513,000, they don't have room for that. So they've got to, talking to El Salvador about asking El Salvador to hold some of the U.S. citizens. I'm saying I think it's close. It's beginning to look a lot like not Christmas, but it'll be Christmas for us to see such bad people arrested. So take a few minutes, look through that site. There it is, bad-boys.us. Look through the site, and you'll say, oh my goodness, he's right. He's right. They're planning to arrest a bunch of people. So do you see it? This is the headline. Now, I'm not going to say anything for me. I want you to look. Do you see it? There's something in that headline. Look at that headline. Do you see it? There's two things. Okay, I'll show you. I want you to look at the pink. Street protests have already begun. Now let's look at the green. As the mainstream media stirs up a backlash to Trump's D.C. takeover. There's prophecy in that. Do you see it? Okay, let me show you. Okay, so look at three things. Look at in the yellow where it says street protests have already begun. Then skip down to the next area of yellow is internal revolution begins. Skip down to the next one is the prophecy, internal revolution overthrowing the Trump administration. My opinion, where it says street protests have already begun, is saying the internal revolution in America has already started. As the mainstream media stirs up the backlash to Trump's D.C. takeover, is actually fulfilling the part in the brown, the lower one-third, started by the communists. Some of the communists will start fighting against the Trump government. The government will be busy with the internal problems. Then from the oceans, Russia and the other ones attack. Meaning, we're seeing the early phases of it. It's not saying internal revolution yet. We're not seeing some of the people fighting against the government yet. There was one guy that fired a few shots against the ICE officers, but I'm only saying, can you see it? Can you see we're moving to the internal revolution? Can you see that we're getting very close to massive arrests? Okay, now let me show you something. I've talked about this before. Let me go through it again. So if you want all new information, the next thing I'm about to say is not new information. But if you want to understand what's going on, then you want to watch it. So the scuttlebutt on the internet is, in 1963, after they killed JFK, the military intelligence knew who did it. And they were tired of this cabal, meaning Moloch and Baal worshippers, this group of international bankers that probably killed Kennedy and a bunch of other people, that think that they can just rule the planet and do whatever they want to do. And they decided the U.S. military intelligence can put a stop to it. But they knew that it's very big, very powerful, and the only way they could get rid of it would be to have a long-term plan and have it well thought out. Now, remember that part. So they started putting together a plan. They came up with one or two options. Either they do a bloody revolution from the people up, or a revolution from the president down. They decide to do president down. They decide it'd be better to take over the presidency, get him involved, and then clean house from there. They found 10 candidates. They chose Trump. They went to Trump. They said, here's the plan. I think Trump at the time was a Democrat, and they showed him the evidence of evil things of these people in high places. That's when he switched to being a Republican. I can't prove that. That's my guess. It'd be interesting to find that out one day. So they recruited Donald Trump, and shortly after that, he came in the escalator, ran for presidency. But a lot of things happened they weren't planning. Now, in November 2017, Sessions hired a guy by the name of John Huber. He recruited 470 dogged investigators, and they started filing sealed indictments. Normally there's 125 to 350 sealed indictments across America at any one particular time. But now, as you can see, there's 513,000. They aren't just going to let those indictments fall to the ground. They are there, and they will serve them. That is their plan. So when I got a hold of this, it was only 4,000 indictments. Then it jumped up to 10,000. I thought, oh, it got to be arresting soon. Then 20,000. It can't go any longer. Here it is, 513,000. So what's going on? DOJ receives, I'm not going to read all of this. You can pause and read it if you want to. But DOJ receives Gabbard's criminal referral on bombshell claims that the Obama administration manufactured Russian collusion hoax. In other words, they're investigating. My guess is they'll also arrest Obama. Because I've heard a couple of people on Fox News say, well, the statute of limitations does not start until the evidence is discovered, which has only been a recent discovery, and the presidential immunity does not cover when he's outside of the office, and he continued this outside of the office. So they're saying Obama is on the arrest list. What do you think would cause people to rejoice, like Jason Meeks saw in his dream? They didn't rejoice on November 5th when Trump won the election. They didn't rejoice on January 20th when he was inaugurated. So what's going to make them rejoice? I'll tell you what I think it is. When they see Barack Obama and his henchmen all arrested, when they see handcuffs on them, that is going to make people rejoice. Next article says, does Trump have the courage to charge Obama and Hillary with treason? A death penalty offense. What do you think? My guess is he does. These people tried to put Trump in jail and almost succeeded. Next article. Now, I covered this a while back. We're not covering everything here. There's going to be another drop of very important information. This we're still watching for. They caught Obama absolutely cold. It's time to go after people. Trump goes off and calls for Obama's prosecution. He's guilty. This was treason. Trump is saying he's going to arrest Obama. And he's saying that he's going to find some justice. Okay. Obama guilty of treason, says Trump. See, he's not letting these people off. You can pause and read the whole article. Here it is. This is the executive order that started it all. December 20, 2017. Executive order Trump signed says blocking the property of persons involved in two things: serious human rights abuse, in other words, child trafficking, human trafficking, and things like that, or corruption. If you ask me, I think that the thing he's after more than the serious human abuse is the corruption in the government. You can pause and read it, but that's what it's doing, and it tells you all about it. Shortly after that, 11/11/2019, perhaps you recall this, Trump was heading to the helicopter, and of course the reporters gathered around him with firing questions at him, and he said this: I think in light of all the things going on, you know what I mean by that, the fake news, the Comeys of the world, all the bad things that went on, it's called the swamp, and I caught them all. Let's see what happens. Nobody else could have done that but me. I caught all of this corruption that was going on, and nobody else could have done it. It's back in 2019. Now, was he kidding? Well, if he was just kidding, we'd only heard it once. We haven't just heard it once. 9/7/24. With your vote this election, their lying, cheating, thieving, hoaxing, and plotting will come to an end. It's going to come to an end. We're going to cash out the corrupt political class. We're going to restore our republic, and we're going to drain the swamp, and we're going to do it once and for all. We're going to get it done. Was he joking, or was he serious? I think he's serious. Then he puts up on his Truth Social, I want you to look at the circle. He says, so with the revelation of massive and widespread fraud and deception and working closely with big tech companies and the DNC, The Democratic Party, do you throw the presidential elections of 2020 out the door and declare the rightful winner, or do you have a new election? A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination, look at this, termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. What did he just say? He just said, I'm going to suspend the Constitution. I'm going to put us in martial law, and I'm going to round up the bad people, and all of their presidential pardons are not going to help them. That's what he said. Then he was interviewed here, this is back in 24. Trump declares war on the crooked and dishonored Washington. Oh, wait a minute. What city did he just take over? That would be Washington, D.C. Do you see what I see, that we're about to see a bunch of arrests? I see it. Do you see it? War on crooked and dishonest Washington establishment. They're going to be held accountable. It's the cabal. It's the Moloch cabal worshippers. What has he done? Okay, so if he hasn't done anything, then maybe this is all just talk. But he's put the U.S. Army to control federal land along U.S.-Mexico border. What? What is that? Okay, well, there is a 60-foot wide corridor that the military can control. This tells you all about it. Taking control of a section of what is called the Roosevelt Reservation. You see that red line from El Paso all the way out to Tijuana? That is a 60-foot wide military-owned and controlled line. Now, did he put that there so that he can keep the illegals from coming from south up to north into America? Or did he put that there so that when the switch is flipped and the cockroaches decide they're going to start running, to catch them that are trying to run down into Mexico? I think that's to try to catch the cockroaches. He's trying to drain the swamp. Now, why didn't he have one in Texas? I think because Abbott is already ready to go, and the Texas southern border is already covered. It goes on to say 7,100 active duty troops. Wait a minute. Wait. That's not National Guard. That's military. Now, the National Guard could be used in the arrest process, but they'll turn it over to the military because what I'm told is they're going to be tried in military tribunals. Here's another one. A whole Stryker brigade has been moved to the Mexico border. Why? Okay, here's 3,000 more active duty troops, active duty, as in military. He's using the military to catch the cockroaches, okay? 4th military zone established in Arizona under Marine Corps. This is Marine. They're not down there trying to catch illegals coming into America. So you want to know another person's opinions? Here it is. Now, this reported to be a very reliable news source. And it says, Wisconsin independent journalist and election integrity investigator Peter Bergneger, who works with the CDM contributor Chris Gleason on data discovery, put the following on his Telegram channel. Bergneger has been a consistently credible source for years on election fraud and political money laundering. He says, military tribunals are coming. Those found guilty are going to be, look at the word. I didn't write that word. Look at that word. I won't say that word. 4 of at least 6 targets. The bad actors of the Russian collusion hoax, those at the national and international level stealing our elections, a fair number, international level? China? A fair number of the CIA, a few selecting the military intelligence selectors, DIS and DIA. It's true about the SCIF with loads of evidence being held in it. We caught them all. Now, I'm told the results are coming, meaning tribunals. Justice is about to be served. So this is wound up being one of my favorite warnings from Jason Meeks. He said, the dream starts out with me at an ATM. I get some cash out for the toll road. I put the card in, got $20 out, into the transaction. But realized I need some more. Put the card back in, but now all of a sudden the fee jumped $42, meaning there was a change in banking. Then what happened? Then he says, we drove back home. We stopped at a major bank. The television screens were showing massive arrests. An alert went out on my cell phone. DJT was assuming control as the new president. Now, what it doesn't say is of the new, quote, Republic of the United States. That's the new name. I expected people to be rioting and looting, but they were happy, celebrating in the streets, almost like VJ Day after World War II. But in the dream, a man came to me and started crying, saying how all of his evil bosses had been arrested and rounded up, telling me he was now in charge of the bank. He was a Christian, had been praying for this for years. As people took to the streets of victory and celebration, we joined in. We jumped on the back of a fire truck to catch the ride to the parade because the streets were packed. Then I heard a huge explosion. A suitcase nuke had gone off. Now, that does make sense that the evil cabal would set off suitcase nukes in retaliation for them losing control. I'm inviting you. I want you to come. I don't know another way to say it, but I want to meet you. I want to shake your hand. I want to hug your neck. I want to get to know some of these people that listen to Prophecy Club. So I'm asking you. I'm not just inviting you. I'm asking you to come. Yes, I know it may mean an air flight, a hotel, a couple of hotels. It may mean $200, $500, $1,000, depends on where you stay. But I want you to come to this. I'm asking you. I'm not just inviting you. I'm asking you to come. Come, introduce yourself to me. Many of you, I will recognize your name. Many of you have been following us for a long time. I'd like to meet you, okay? So come to the Prophecy, Healing, and Deliverance Conference, September 11 to 14. Now, it's 6 seasoned ministers. We're going to be delivering 10 different talks over 2.5 days. Now, you can see the topics below, but today I'm going to just briefly touch on a couple of them. One is I've changed some of the things I'm talking on. Yes, I'm talking on the mark of the beast. Yes, I'm going to bring you some new insight. But I'm also, here's what happened this past Sunday. I brought a talk that I thought would be over most people's head. I was talking about secrets in ancient Hebrew, and I was shocked. Our congregation absolutely loved it. I had, 5 or 6 people come up to me and say how great it was. I've had at least 2 or 3 people ask me for copies of the PowerPoint, so I'm going to expand on that. There are some big secrets within ancient letter-level Hebrew, and you probably have never heard this before. If you have one of my books, or Leslie side one of her books, we're going to have them there. It's going to be, a time where you learn some things, but how about just a time of fellowship? How about a time where you get to meet me and Leslie, and we'll meet you, and we'll spend some good time together. We'll eat together. We'll have some fellowship together. So come to the Prophecy, Healing, Deliverance Conference.